So I figured we take a look at the Bugatti Chiron. Now this is the largest Technic set I've ever built. I'm not 100% sure if it is the largest Technic set ever made. Maybe like the Earth Mover or something might be bigger. So this is about 3,600 pieces, right around there. And it's not cheap, $350. So you kind of need to be either a big fan of Technic, a big fan of cars, or a big fan of the Bugatti Chiron. And I'm kind of all three. I'm not a huge Technic fan, as you guys know if you follow me. But, I love Technic. And there's something about this car. I like the 1/8 scale. I like the Porsche. But I never got myself to pull the trigger on the Porsche 911 that is still available. It's $300. But I just thought this one looked a little bit better in my opinion. It's got a little bit more detail, I think, than the Porsche. I just want to show you. I'll get this out of the way. Here is the smaller version for putting in the city. So that is the Lego brick built one. And of course I got my sig fig in his Bugatti race outfit. Now I will tell you, this is the only printed piece. You can see that 1x1 round tile, which is actually inside the wheels. That's the only piece in this whole set that was printed. And that's kind of the biggest complaint I think I have, is just for $350, in my opinion, you shouldn't have any stickers. But this had a whole sticker sheet. Even like these tiles, like on this door, if you can see these, just to kind of keep that line going. They have some like a 1x6 tile and a 1x4 tile, and they have you put a sticker there of blue with the gray line. Like, why couldn't that have been a printed piece? Now, and I'll also tell you, I'll compare it here in a little bit with the Porsche that I just built, the new Technic 2019 Porsche, the smaller one, the $150 one. That one actually came with like printed fender well. This piece here, what kind of Technic piece is this? But they were printed. It had a handful of printed pieces, but this set, the only one you got was that little 1x1 tile piece. So that's kind of disappointing. But overall, like even that's a sticker. This is the key, in case you don't know. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've seen other reviews of this set, because if you're like me, you watched a bunch of them. So basically you put this key in here, and then you can raise and lower the back. But you don't have to do that. All you gotta do is lift up on that, put it down. But that's kind of a cool little display. It's kind of built like the key on the Chiron. I will tell you, this came with 1x8 tiles, and it needs a 1x6. So I had to take some out of my own inventory to get that to work properly. They sent the wrong piece with that. Now this doesn't have like hand to God steering where you turn up here. You gotta turn from in here, and it's kind of tight. Let me see. Maybe I'll move you guys to get some angles a little closer. But I mean, and it's so heavy that it really doesn't like to turn. But you get it. It's there. And who's really going to be playing with this? And if you're moving around, you can just move the wheel like that and just kind of park it wherever you're going to park it. It does have shocks, but it's so heavy that once you push the front down, it pretty much stays down. Like, it's done. It does have 2 springs on each wheel, but it's just not enough to hold this. And it is pretty sturdy. You can pick it up from the hood, or from the top there. Talking about the trunk here in the front, you can kind of see some of the steering gears inside there. And then you have your little Chiron travel bag, which I think the actual car comes with that. Now overall, being this was my largest Technic set I've ever built, I kind of just took my time with it. It took me probably about 6-7 days, just an hour, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours here and there, just kind of working my way through. If you guys don't know, the box this comes with is also premium. You know, it's got each one set up in different boxes. I'm sure you know this already, but you're paying a little bit just for that. And I have it displayed up on my shelf. I'll put a picture of it here on the screen. I'm going to keep that box. You know, I looked on eBay. I was thinking about maybe getting an extra box to cut up and frame or something. The box alone, empty, sells for like $80 on eBay. So it's not cheap. Now I'm just looking at this. I'm wondering if I don't have this piece upside down. It looks kind of weird. I'm going to have to get the instructions out on that. And I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but I'll try to get an angle where you can see. But you can kind of see the pistons moving when you move it there, which I think I have it in reverse so that they'll move quicker, because there's a shifter in here. I'll get a close-up on it. But you can put it in forward, neutral, and then when it's in neutral, it does nothing. Forward, it takes a little bit longer. Like, you got to move about 1.5 feet, 2 feet before the pistons start to move. And then, obviously, just like the Porsche, the expensive one, it has paddle shifters, which is really cool. It's cool building that. I'll put a video here of it on the screen. See, obviously these are the paddle shifters, so the steering wheel will go here eventually. And get this to work. You can kind of see how that works. Overall, I gotta say, so far I am very impressed with this build. Now I have built a large Technics. I built the Volvo front loader a long time ago, and that had power function and everything. But even it, I don't think it didn't compare with how much goes into this. You really can't even see the transmission anymore that's up underneath here. It's already kind of getting hid, but let me tell you, it's quite impressive. Looks like I need to push these in. Maybe I skipped that, I'm not real sure. Let's go ahead and push those in right now. And there, like I said, this is something you kind of want to double check yourself. I can't get that to go in any further. I don't know what's going on here. I already got to mess up. It looks like it won't go past that. I'm not sure. I haven't got out the instructions. But you know, you do not want to have to go back and miss anything, or try to fix anything. So basically, like, you see that gear right there? I had one of those not in there. It kind of looks like a Roadster right now, the way it looks. Looks pretty cool. But that is instruction book 1. And even though it's covered up and nobody will see this once it's built, just knowing you built that and it's down there, you know, you appreciate it as the builder. And you know, I took video of it and pictures of it. I'd almost like to have 2 of these, one completely built and one just kind of without the shell, just the transmission, the motor, because that's so much of the build is never seen by anybody who ever looks at it. But yeah, overall, I love it. I love the angles. I love it especially from the back side, the engine, the whole rear end looks really good on this car. And the wheels and tires, they just really set it off. But now let's do a little size comparison with the smaller Porsche. Alright, so here is a side-by-side comparison with the Porsche, which is roughly about a 1/8 scale compared to the Bugatti, or the Porsche's 1/10 and the Bugatti's 1/8. You can kind of see, let me get over here on the other side, kind of putting the Porsche on top of the Bugatti. Let's kind of give a little size comparison here. Kind of see how much bigger. It's probably about 3 inches longer, probably about 2 inches wider. And here's a couple of the wheels off the 24-hour race car. But that kind of see the size difference. Those are the same wheels and tires that are on the Porsche. But even though the Porsche is so much smaller, you know, you're talking $200 cheaper, right? This is $350. This is $150. So it's still a really quality product, but this is kind of giving you a little comparison. Obviously, this is just a shell. You know, it looks good from the outside, But even from many angles, you open it, you look in here, you can just see right through to the table. But when you look in here, you know, you see you got the shifters, you got everything there. It's just, this is heavy with pieces. This is kind of hollowed out. So there's a little size comparison. So as far as should you buy this, well, if you have an extra $350 burning a hole in your wallet or your purse, and money's not an issue, and you like this, the way this looks, I promise you, you will not be let down. Now, if you've never built Technic before, and you're just coming from standard bricks, it's not like it's so challenging you can't do it. It's just you want to take your time, because I messed up a couple times. You get done with, like, I think I was done with the transmission and I had an extra gear left over. And that's not good, because then you gotta, it's not as easy to pull it all apart to fix something like that when it goes wrong. So I would just suggest, as you build this, take your time, make sure you don't have any extra gears, you know, or clearly something's wrong. And one thing I would kind of complain a little bit about this is, it's kind of hard to tell when you're building a transmission and moving on from that point whether you messed up on something, you know, whether it's really working or not. And so I can imagine if somebody, and I've seen YouTube videos where people built it and messed something up, and then when they get to this point, the shifters don't work or the pistons don't work. Well, they're probably just going to leave it, because it would be pretty much a start over kind of situation to try to fix something like that. But so take your time. I think you will appreciate this. It's going to go on my shelf and collect dust from there. But I appreciated this build. You know, it's something that I like, having a big build that you can just kind of work on every once in a while and take your time with. But you guys let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching. Hit subscribe and hit that bell for notifications when I upload a video. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Bye.